Hello, we're trying this one more time, trying to get this echo thing. I don't know what is going on with Miss Facebook, but as soon as I can get Toan on here, and we can start talking about, if not now, then when? Realigning with what matters. Are you aligned with what truly matters in your life? Let's chat about it. Let's chat about it. Let's see if we can get Toan in here. Okay. Okay. And if I start sneezing, you just have to excuse me. I'm waiting for my Claritin to kick in. It is definitely springtime. If not now, when will Facebook fix their echoing issues? Amen, Kevin. Like, what is that about? Like, today? It's been like months. It's been going on forever, but we'll see. Looks like Toan is in the room now. Let's see if we can get him on here. Hello.
What's up? How are you?
Okay, there we are. Just do it.
How are you? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. How's that audio sounding?
I think it sounds good on my end. I'm turning this up right quick. How are you all doing?
Sounds good on my end too. I'm
Awesome.
well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm in San Francisco. Where are you at?
I am in Chicago, where I think it was 60 degrees earlier. It's dropping back down to the 40s now, though.
Ooh. Yeah, it's nice out here in San Francisco. I mean, it's overcast, but it's nice. This is episode 44. Can you believe it?
44.
Yeah, and we're still in the month of the year that we started. We started this month last year. Can you believe that?
Wow, that's gone by fast.
Exactly. And it ties in directly to our topic. I wasn't even thinking about this today, but it's springtime. This is a little over like a year and like I think 2 weeks that we started this. Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, today our topic is if not now when. And this is for everybody that we've been talking to lately, including ourselves.
Definitely.
That has whether it's your personal, professional, or spiritual mission to whether it's meditate a little bit more every day or start that project with that YouTube thing or that YouTube channel or whatever thing that you said, working out more that you wanted to do. Like, if not now, when is the question we're asking. We're going to have pragmatic tips on how we kind of take an action. And I'm really excited to also talk about that, if not now, when, to realign with when are we going to start hanging out with people that are positive, or like start weeding out the people that are negative, I should say, and start hanging out with people that really matter.
Very good. Very good, very good, very good. You did a key thing there. You realized that you were putting you were accentuating the negative. You were about to accentuate the negative. And you're like, no. Put the focus on the positive. And that's just what people have to do in their lives. But
yeah, exactly.
We'll get to that.
Exactly. Well, it's so good to see you. Hey, Kevin is in LA, speaking of, and I was like, Kevin, what you gonna do in LA? Because he messaged me yesterday, our producer, and he was like, I'm just gonna go down and reconnect with people, and he's gonna watch a game there, a basketball game. And so I was just like, sweet. I don't see any of the comments coming up. Do you?
I see. Yeah, it says Kevin put in 44 is a good number. Yes, it is. Whether it be the 44th episode, hi Amber. Whether it be the 44th president. No shade.
No, you didn't. No, you don't. Look, that's your
44 is a good number. I agree, Kevin. I agree with you totally.
So what's up? What's new with you?
Oh man, I've been here in Chicago today. I went out for a little walk, got some exercise. It was great. And there's just been so much in the news again about this Jussie Smollet case, and especially here in Chicago, it's like all over everywhere where they dropped the charges. Yes. And now they're trying to figure out why they're dropping the charges. And now the president is tweeting about it, that he's going to get the FBI involved to look at why they dropped the charges. And then
that just came out a few minutes ago, right?
Yeah. And then he's still saying, and I'm like, well, wait a minute now. The same FBI that you were just criticizing 5 minutes ago. Anyway, that's another story. But yeah, so it's just been all of this chaos. Personally,
if that is not a hot topic,
I did a post yesterday. It's like, that is a topic.
Yeah.
I did a post about trying to, see the bigger picture in all of this, and like what are we feeding into? And so many people were like just whether you believe these negative or innocent, like we said previously, that doesn't really matter. What are you doing that's contributing to this? And I see it as an opportunity to break this cesspool of brokenness, but
Yes.
people are still like so divided. And it's like, well, there's real stuff going on in the world, people. At the end of the day, this is, I think there are more critical things that affect you personally that you're not even paying any attention to. So I don't know. We'll see. I just thought it was interesting that, you know, them dropping all the charges mysteriously.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever know what really happened.
saying, sorry, we're getting a little bit of audio feedback there because it's kind of a little bit slower on this side. So that's what I was saying. If that's not a hot topic, then I don't know what is a hot topic today.
That is a hot topic.
I think the deeper lesson for me with this whole Jussie Smollett thing is, remember when the news just broke, and I was actually in New York at the time, remember? And I think it was a few episodes ago, and we weren't going to talk about it. We decided we were not going to buy into all this like hype yet because we didn't know all the facts. And
we still don't, right?
I know we don't, but the funny thing was that our viewers, remember, there were several people that were like, they got on, they're like, hot topic, you
ready to go,
right? Right, and we were like, you know what? And then they were like, we want to hear what y'all think. But I mean, I'm really proud of us because we didn't even like have a big, deep conversation about, okay, let's just steer clear of that so we know our facts. But we just decided to say, you know what? Well, let's just not. There's other things we can talk about, because this is the issue. When we see something on Facebook or a tweet or whatever, people believe it. There are organizations and people out there that share stuff that is not real, and so that's a real fake. That's a real fake news. If you will, right?
We've become a culture where it's as soon as you hear something that aligns with how you feel emotionally, you just, okay, that's fact and gospel because somebody else tweeted it. And there's no fact checking. There's no, you know, we just want to be right, and not necessarily correct and factual. We just want to be right from an egotistical standpoint and validating our emotion of how we feel about the situation. And we've got to do better. We are in a cesspool of brokenness, and in order to foster healing, we've got to switch that up.
I like that you said that. You know, I had a conversation this weekend it was two of my friends. One of my friends, Suzanne, just moved into a new home off of Stinson Beach. And we walked down to the beach and we had lunch with one of her friends, who's this guy that spends a lot of time in Peru and South America with the Pachamama and the elders. And we were just talking about that. And then we're just talking about this exact same thing in terms of judgment, right? And I'm guilty of it too. It's like so easy Kevin's called me out a couple times where he was like, why did you share that article? Did you go and check it out on Snopes? And I was like, well, I saw it on CBS. Or PBS, not sorry, PBS, CBS or ABC News. And I was like, well, it has to be, you know, right. And, you know, if you read I read I did some research and read between the lines, and I was like, well, wow, the facts were wrong actually, or they were spun a certain way. And interesting thing that the work that I think that we have to do is figure out what, like you said, the emotional trigger, because of course, if it aligns with what we feel or what we really don't like, we're just on it, right?
Right.
Like that, right? So instead of doing that, every time you feel that arise, this is the conversation that I was having with my friends at the beach this weekend. It's like, pause for a moment. And instead of just like letting that kind of go past you and just saying, oh, well, I'm not going to pay attention to it, or I'm going to let it really bother me. But stop for a minute and then just dig deeper and say, well, what is the root cause of that blossoming into something dramatic?
Right.
And just, you know, and that's what some elders were saying that our friend was with in South America. And they're like, you know, shaman people and whatnot. But I'm like, y'all, you don't need to be a shaman to know that. It's just like when things arise, we all react to a certain way because of something that's happened to us.
Right.
You know?
And again, it doesn't make it necessarily right. You just want to validate your emotion. And if someone is on the same emotional wavelength as you, then it's gospel. Because of course, it's, you know, your emotions are gospel. They don't have anything to do with facts. Hey, Jen. So it's just,
hey, Jen.
We've got a lot of work to do as a collective society, not just as a country, but in the world. Because this is just chaos extreme.
Yes, right?
We've got to do better. We've just got to do better.
And to your point, too, we have to do better, because another hot topic is, you know, it just came down the wire like minutes before we got on live here, is that the Washington Post says that because of the Special Olympics, the proposed cuts from Trump, he has rescinded that because bipartisan folk, both people on both sides, were like up in arms. And if you think about how much power is in that statement alone, is that, you know what, it's so easy to say, you know what, I'm feeling like powerless about this. And even if the proposed cuts were kind of making their way and going through and getting the green light, what could I want to challenge everybody to think, instead of feeling powerless, what can you do? What can I do? Can we make phone calls? Can we donate to the Special Olympics? Can we use our platform to make a change? And, you know, if you look at the ocean, I love that the quote was a Desmond Tutu, you know, to create there's like the sea may look like one big body, which is ginormous, right? But we're each a droplet that makes up that big old sea.
Right.
And if we really think of that little thing that we do or say that could change the life of a young person, maybe they might want to be a lobbyist, or they might want to get into politics, or I don't think that people know the power that they have, especially in this seemingly powerless times of this
seemingly powerless, right?
Seemingly,
but you do still have power. You've always got the power. It's just that you cannot, you know, and others realize that you have the power, so that's why they're trying to amplify their diminishing voice to keep you in fear and to keep you in your place and keep them in power. And that's not, we're just not having that. Or are we?
Right? Yeah. So that's our challenge. I mean, that's a challenge to y'all. Jennifer says, call your representatives.
And donate. Also talk to your friends. People are always paying off.
People are not always paying attention.
Right.
True that, Jennifer. I mean, I was just saying today, I was like, you know, I've been in this whole like rebranding phase of my nonprofit phase of my nonprofit the last 2 weeks. Stuff that was just coming down the wire now. I didn't know about it until Kevin just messaged me. Kevin says, fight or flee mentality. Yep. Time to move to segment 2. Kevin is
the shade
real. Segment 2. Dump the hump. Dump the hump. Okay. So, my question today to all you guys at home, because we're not only here to share our wisdom, but we're here to kind of extrapolate and crowdsource the wisdom. And Lonnell, I'll start with you. What are some tips that you do to realign with what matters in your life? Because we were saying that this is a conversation that's come up a lot in me, you, and Kevin's life lately.
Yeah, for me, realignment, it's a constant process, like feeding my face. It's not like something you just do one and done. It's something I'm constantly doing to nourish myself. And
well, you're doing that a lot though lately, right?
I'm doing it a lot because it seems like it seems like that the negativity in the world, the appearance of negativity is so accelerated. It's like everywhere you turn, it's just something else crazy. But then I have to realize, it's like, okay, what am I choosing? Where am I choosing to align my energy? In the light or in the dark? And I noticed that when I switch and I start to look for things that are positive, then I start to find more things that are positive. And just as much chaos, although it's not as loud, just as much of the chaos that's going on, there's a lot of good going on as well. Yeah. So as I try to divert my attention and actually focus on uplifting the good that I see happening in the world, it uplifts myself. And then I can take that bad stuff in doses. And so that's a constant process. It's not something like you just do once. It's something that I'm constantly feeding and constantly having to be aware of, because whenever you're trying to be good and look at the light, someone over here is going, come on back to the dark. Come on back in the cesspool, baby. Come on to the cesspool. And I'm just like, no. So for me, it's constantly recalibrating.
Yeah. How do you recalibrate? How, when that thing says come back into the dark, start, like if you're hanging out with people, this is one thing I've realized too. I'm very aware now of who I hang out with and how they make me feel energetically. But what's going on? Like, do I feel like, okay, I got to get up and leave, I'm done with this conversation? Or if they start gossiping or talking about somebody and I start feeding into that and I don't like that and I don't like doing that and they're bringing that out in me, I've been really kind of like, I'm more aware. Just try it next time. When you're with somebody, think about, not think, but feel how you're feeling. And that's big. If it's drama, your heart beats fast, you get worked up too. Right. But
and if your body is not in a state of comfort, neither is your spirit. So you need to, those are automatic signs. You can just look and see, am I stressed out? Why am I stressed out? What's going on? This is not my natural flow. So I'm not at peace. So you constantly just have to be aware. But a lot of times we choose not to be aware, or we choose to focus on something negative, or maybe because we have an emotional reaction, or something relates to some bad experience that we're still holding on to. So, we just kind of magnify that, and then point the blame, and then suddenly it's woe is me, the world sucks. And I'm just like, no, the world doesn't suck yet.
Yeah.
But it's a constant challenge.
But let's be real. I mean, there is stuff that's going on in the world that sucks, like the Syrian refugees and not knowing where to go. I mean, you were just, you've been to Africa several times. You've seen, the disparity between have and have-nots, and the hungry and the other people that have so much. And in my travels throughout the world and in South America, it's just, I see it and feel that, and I get that. But
you can see that right in San Francisco.
I know. Yeah. Even here. Yeah. Exactly. It's like the craziness that has to do with the homeless situation and the have and have-nots. And what to answer the question, or that idea, or that I just threw out there in terms of realigning with what really matters. This is the way I see it, and I feel that is right, and that I've heard in other places in different languages before. I feel like we're all energy, and the world is this huge radio that has vibrations, right? Radio waves, vibrational waves. And it's funny because me and you, like, we're on the same wavelength. We were tuning into the same channel.
By choice,
inspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's work.
Choice, right? Yes. It is work.
It is work.
But we were tuned in. Yeah.
Right.
And that's why, the last week since we chatted last week, 3 people had said to me, they're like, I love to hear you and Lonnell talk, every week. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that you even knew that we were doing this, and they were like, no, I love how real you guys are. And I just feel like you and I are on this same sort of like wavelength of when we're with each other, it's not like we're talking trash about other people or putting other people down or making fun of people. It's like uplifting. And that's really the impetus of how the show started. Because we were like, how do we share this with the world? How do we easily record, even though it's not that easy on Facebook sometimes because of the audio issues.
Right, and we're not perfect, because I still will cut somebody. You know what I'm saying? I still can throw shade, but I try, but I'm aware of that. So it's true. It's very, very true.
Yes. Amber, do you see what Amber has to say, or are you further down on this feed?
She said, I saw that she went to Ghana. That's so exciting. I can't wait.
No. It went down. Yeah. She also said, hey, Amber, she says, I have to step back from everything that isn't bringing joy to my life and reflect on what is said and isn't good for me.
Amen.
Amen. How do you think Marie Kondo made all her money?
But it's true. And again, it's a conscious choice. You just have to be aware. And then when you have that awareness, then you can act or react differently. And it will shift and change the whole perspective of your day. Yeah. What does Jen say here? How do you walk away from people with whom you are not aligned? I worry about loneliness. Okay, well, you can't worry about loneliness. And if someone is not for you, they're not aligned, once you make the conscious decision that you want to do better, they will gradually disappear out of your life, because your behavior is going to change, your energetic vibration is going to change. And then before you know it, they're like, they'll fall back. Trust and believe. But if you're not aligned, you can't force that. And if you are worried about loneliness, the fact that you're worrying about that, maybe you're not entirely aligned. So you have to know, and I have this thing like, people are like, because I do so much stuff with myself. I never do things by myself. But I'm always with myself, just because the nature of my job and the travel and all that. I'm in a lot of countries where, I'm just with myself. But having that perspective helps me. I mean, I don't really get into a state of loneliness. There are definitely experiences I'd like to share with other people that I wish they were there to really enjoy that. But I'm not lonely in the experience. So I just think you got to just shift your mindset, and then they'll fall off, girlfriend.
Yes, I love that. And you know what? My thoughts are, the world is an abundant place. It really is. And you know what? As you start cutting away at those layers and like letting go of whether it's toxic people or whatnot, the new seeds will emerge. or
Right.
it might be an old friend that comes back into your life. Or, I mean, look at how Lonnell and I met. We randomly met somewhere. Somebody was talking about him in a good way and saying, "Oh, you need to meet Lonnell." And we were in another state, and we both met. I mean, the universe. Eckhart Tolle, in his book *A New Earth*, one of my favorite books, he says the universe conspires to help us all, but when the shutters are closed, the sunlight cannot come in. So instead of having that kind of deficit mindset, like think about it as an abundance mindset, you know, and abundance not as in like a lot of people or we need a lot of people, but as abundance as in like the abundance of quality and energy that you feel with those people that you are with. And as I get older too, it's like, you know, it's hard because I'm an artist. I love like, you know, and an athlete. I love fashion. I love interior design and stuff like that. But you know, as I get older, I just want quality stuff. It could be handmade, no label, or it could be a higher end label or whatever from somewhere. I don't know. A friend gave it to me from somewhere
Yep.
that has no label, and I'd rather have a handful of good things than 50 handfuls of just
Of
stuff that's
nothing, of
junky.
crap, of
Yes.
stuff and
Yes.
clutter.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of people coming in, one of our favorite people, Alex, just chimed in. What's up, Alex? Do you still
Alex.
see Alex? All right. Segment 3 is Talk to ToLo. One of my favorite segments. One of our favorite segments where people ask us questions. So, Amber, thanks for asking questions. Question 1 comes in anonymously from someone who says, "How do you see the beauty in the world when I see so much crap?" How do I train my brain to see the good stuff?
Wow. But that's the answer
question.
is right there in the question. It's
Yes.
like you train your brain to see the good stuff. If you, and this is why, you know, we often talk about gratitude. If you start the practice of gratitude and look for 5 things each day to be thankful for, you'll start to go through the day looking for the positive things.
Yeah.
So often the first thing we do is we jump up, myself included, you know, we turn on the news in the morning, or we go
Yes.
to check our devices. And you know, that's all just spewing toxicity, but yet we're addicted to it. So we want to be informed. Well, you know, who's sending the message and who's crafting the message? So it's like, no, you really just have to, in order to do that, you just have to decide that you're going to look for the good. That doesn't mean you don't see the bad, but you have got to.
Well, Jennifer said there's an app for that.
Yeah, there's an app for that. Yes, with the gratitude app.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I use it every day. But yeah, you've got to train it. Like the question, the answer was in the question. You know, you've got to train your brain to look for these things. It doesn't mean that the bad stuff goes away or you start to ignore it or pretend that it doesn't exist. Yeah. But you can process it from a different energetic level. And then by that way, you can deal with it. You might even be able to offer some type of solution for it because you're not caught up in the mess of it all. You're looking at it from a whole different perspective. So that could actually potentially be healing.
Yeah, I love that. I was just going to talk about gratitude as well. We have the same brain now. But when I actually keep a gratitude journal for reals. I was texting with a friend one night, and then I was like feeling anxious because I'm on this this conversation's going on a little long. I'll meet up with her another time. And I was like, I'm gonna get off the phone now because I need to write my gratitude journal. Yes, I do practice what I preach. It's not just fake stuff that I'd be posting on Instagram and Facebook. But I actually, like last night when I was writing in it, the stuff that I was really grateful for were people. And like last week, I was like, oh, had a great conversation with Lonnell. You know, just had a good conversation, you know, a good lunch with Kevin, or met up with an old friend. And while I'm doing it, instead of just rushing, because I used to just rush through and like, okay, I'm done, I want to go to sleep. Instead, I just sit there for a moment and then just like give thanks to it. Like I really just sit with it, even if it's for like 5 or 10 seconds or a minute or whatever. And just as you're writing, just be like, I kind of like relive that, and it's just a really beautiful kind of thing. Another thing that you could do to train your brain is actually, it's funny because it's what you and I do is we hold each other accountable. And one thing I know you do with a lot of people, including like Rich Cruz isn't on here, a good friend of yours in San Diego, right? You say he's your gratitude partner where you guys send each other stuff. And it's funny
every day.
Yeah, and you guys do it every day, but I do it more spontaneous. You notice I've been sending you and Kevin like little things via Facebook or a text or whatever when I see it, because I just want to share that joy. And that's what I love with what we're doing here so much, is we're sharing this joy and wisdom, and we're all still trying to figure it out. So if you guys have anything that you guys do that helps realign yourself with what matters, like please do share. We want to hear it.
Please let us know, because we're always looking for new and exciting ways to maintain the joy. People just think it's like a plateau that you reach, but no, it is constant and relentless work and effort.
Yes.
Just like you spend relentless effort on negativity and wonder how come your life is in shambles. No.
Yes.
You can do this.
Let's see what Kevin here says. Kevin says, be in communities that lift you up amid the madness.
Hello, your tribe. You tribe. Your tribe. So
it really is. It really is true. We're not just talking about it. Okay. So the second question is, what are your daily practices that help you get off to a good start mentally and spiritually? You know what? This, the word spirituality kind of scares people, because people actually have DM'd me on Instagram and been like, hey, can friends of friends that know me, hey, can we go on a walk, or can I talk? Do you have any books that you could share? Because I want to learn more about spirituality, or what does that even mean? And I think it scares people and it's so woo-woo. But I actually remember that Oprah had said this on one of her shows, and it really clicked at that moment. Is that because we think sometimes spirituality is woo 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 woo,
yeah, no,
woo, right, like woo woo stuff, but she would say that everybody that works for her, at Harpo, she would sit down and interview them and talk to them and meet them and feel their energy. And she would always ask them, what is your spiritual practice? And that could freak a lot of people out that aren't on that vibration, right? And it's okay, because a lot of us fear what we don't know. But the interesting thing is that she was like, all I'm asking you, people would like stumble and not know what to say, and so she would be like, what do you do to take care of yourself? Because you're not taking care of yourself, how are you going to take care of my company and these shows and these things that I'm doing, right? And so that's the way I kind of think about it too. I'm like, well, what is my spiritual practice every day? And part of that spiritual practice starts right when I get up, Even if you are in a rush, take 10 deep breaths to start your day. That's something you do. I know some people with Post-it notes. I know you're a big vision board person as well. It could be tacking something onto your vision board, or just telling yourself it's going to be a good day, and choosing for it to be a good day. There's so many little kind of like hacks. What about you? What are your thoughts?
I am a huge proponent of trying to set the tone. But there's two things that I usually do a little reading in the morning. I get a thing called Daily Thoughts from the Hill from my church in Atlanta, which is a new thought. It's usually an affirmation for the day and then a lesson behind it. And also Oprah turned me on to the Book of Saki, which has been out forever, but I finally got around to subscribing to it, and I read that every day. And that literally it just starts to set the tone. So it can at least, and then the deep breathing. If I have time in the morning, I try to meditate. Sometimes that may come at a different time during the day. But I find that when I do those things, that I feel just a little more relieved and more level throughout the day, no matter what's going on. And when things start to stress me out, or stressors attempt to enter my life, I typically will step back, either do the breathing, or just try to step back and realign myself with whatever it is that I'm faced with. Because I'm like, if a bunch of stressful things are coming at you, I can't just sit there and just be like, oh, caught up in the stress. It's like, no, okay, whoa. I need to be centered. Now, this craziness could swirl around me, but I can't swirl with it.
Yeah. You can't stress and worry about stuff like, say, bills. You can't stress and worry about the bills itself, because it's just going to still be there. But instead, think about, like, how do I pay for them? How do I figure that component out? And worry about the action items of what you can take care of. And for me, my spiritual practice is continual. It's not just like, I'm just going to do this one quick minute in the morning and a gratitude journal at night, but it does bookend with those things. For me, I start off with some breaths, or sometimes I could do a 30-minute meditation, sometimes an hour, sometimes 10 breaths. But I do something every morning, and I like to stretch my body. Most mornings, I go straight to my gym and do CrossFit. I know you're. Next time you come, I'm gonna try to get you to come. There's a.
If you have bills and you're stressed out about bills, change your relationship with your bills. You need to be grateful for them, because you have the bills because obviously you have some trinket or some service that created the bill that you're enjoying. So why not pay for it? So so I found when I changed my relationship with my bills and was grateful for them, because they represent many comforts that I have in my life, then they start to disappear.
I never thought about it that way. Wow, I never thought of it that way. Then I just wanted to close the loop on this thought about then starting your day off, having just some simple rituals or something, and then throughout the day there are things that are going to throw you off, make you get angry, or maybe bring up your blood pressure. But when that arises, the awareness working around, okay, you know, being aware of how you react to that is something that I constantly work on. And then at night, the gratitude journal or breathing exercises, or I like to do a little bit of stretching at night too before I go to bed. I know that's a little extra, but I did want to get, before we move on to the next topic, Jennifer Green, I want to get to you. It says, Jen says, truth for the job. How can you take care of the business if you can't take care of yourself? Thought for the month. Oh, okay. So yeah, true that, right? That is so true. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of your kids.
You can't take care of your business
long enough for your kids. Okay.
And it's so true.
Speaking about being around for your kids, how many of you guys are on your phone more than you are with your kids? Just kidding. I'm not trying to throw shade. But we are into our digital detox segment.
It is the digital detox.
Wait, so let's do a quick check-in. How are you doing on your digital detox?
Steady. I haven't had any more like improvement. I was improving for a while, but I haven't dipped. So I still have a lot of time on there, but I'm still at night toning down. I'm starting to make sure that I go back to reading my books at night instead of scrolling through the phone, and I'm not putting the phone right on the pillow anymore. So, but my usage is still steady because I'm still kind of busy with it during the day. But it's lower than it was. Yeah. So, but it hasn't crept back up. So I'm trying.
Yeah. I'm not trying to throw shade, but there was one night, I think I was going to sleep late. It was like 1 a.m. here.
It was like 4 in the morning where I was.
Yeah. And I remember I had put something, I don't know if I tweeted something. I don't know what I did, but anyway, I don't know if it was a text or a tweet or something. And then you answered me right away. I was like, what are you doing up? This is a test. And I actually felt bad when I sent it because I really didn't mean for it to be a test because I was just like, oh, I forget that you're 3 hours away. And you answered and I was like, what are you doing? You're like, just removing just what'd you say? You said, I'm just emptying my mouth.
I got up to use the restroom and checked my phone.
So I was like,
like really?
I was cracking up. Yeah, I'm on and off, you know. It's just like I'll put it this way. For me, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is not a diet for me. I think doing diets, trying to stay off my phone for long stretches of time doesn't help. Just like even with intermittent fasting, I don't want to just not eat for like several days, you know, but it's just moderation, even in moderation, and being aware. It was really interesting. You know, I was the other day, I teach an online class, a Blogging Your Passion course, right? And I was like, grades were due the other day, and it was like in the evening time, like 7:30, and I was up to 11:30 doing it, and like on my computer, and I literally was like I literally felt like this, and my stomach just felt really uneasy. I just felt like, I had to get up and stand and stretch, and like I literally was finished off what I needed to do, close the computer, and I felt that. And I think for me, it's just really more about a lifestyle of saying, yes, you and I love social media because we love sharing the beauty that we see in the world, and we like, you know, to be in connection with each other. But I'm more aware now when I'm on my phone. So I feel like at least that's a good barometer of like how I'm doing. I feel like I am improving because you are holding me accountable and I'm holding you accountable for it. But you know what's interesting that's been happening lately too? I don't know if you get this a lot, but you know, I have made a concerted effort to try to get in touch with friends and talk to them on the phone, or when I'm thinking about them, just text them or call them. If I have time in the car to call them or whatever, if I'm walking and, you know, to my next appointment, or just physically be next to them and have a lunch or a coffee or something. And the funny thing was that there was a friend that I had reconnected with, and she has, I think, her daughter's 3, I think. And she was like, yeah, I feel like we hadn't talked since before I knew she was pregnant. And she was like, I just feel like I know what's going on with your life, you know, and because through social media. And I was like, well, guess what, boo? It's been many years and I haven't really talked to you, you know, with you, or we have not connected. A, and then B, I'm not posting everything on social media. I've done some cool stuff today. Right. I've not posted anything yet, you know, on my feeds. And even when I was in Peru, when I went there for 3 weeks, some people at the gym, they were like, oh my God, you look like you had so much fun, but you posted so many stories where you were on your phone the whole time. And I was like, well, actually, you know what? I would snap photos of things that I thought were beautiful. I didn't even share a lot of them, you know, everything. But, you know, I was like, there's a thing on Insta stories that you can lasso a bunch and select a lot of photos, you know, and upload. And I would do that at night because I don't like being there and like taking photos of like food or like the environment and then just trying to upload and think of things to say. Trying to live in the moment But some people don't take photos at all, and they're like, "Why are you even taking photos?" But I'm like, you know what? To me, it's beautiful. It's art. I love the composition.
And I like
the
looking
color.
back on that stuff too, to
Me
remind
too.
myself, like, oh yeah, you have had some pretty cool experiences.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Amen to that, brother. So, I am trying. So anyway, so that was my point. I am trying to do more of this, like be in connection to somebody. I mean, even if they live far away, you live far away. So if it's once a week we talk like this, or sometimes actually we'll get offline and we'll talk on the phone. But that's a real connection versus a fake connection. I feel like it's a fake connection when you're on social, just wishing me happy birthday out there, which is fine. I love that. But you know what I mean? It's different than the actual feeling that energy.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a fake connection, but it's not a full connection.
Not fake, full. Yeah, not a full connection. Yeah,
right.
full.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong word. Yeah.
So I would agree with you there, because it's like, yeah, because social media is a great way to connect and to stay connected with certain people and friendships, but you still have to massage those relationships off of the platform.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Massage. Hey, I need a massage, so please come and massage anytime.
Okay.
Kevin says social media is no substitute for real life relationships. That's so true.
Not at all, Kevin. You're right.
No. Yeah.
It's not a substitute. It should be an enhancement too.
Yeah.
It should make it a lot easier, but it should not be a substitute. No, not at all.
Yeah, you know, even whenever I do interviews, whether I'm interviewing somebody or they're interviewing me or whatever, if possible, I like to be there physically because you can actually feel their energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe in all
that. It makes it better. It makes a difference.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of gratitude, I'm very grateful to talk with you again this week. Grateful for everybody at home. We see you. We see you.
Definitely. And we appreciate you.
Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to just, chime in below. We'll get to answering them later. Share if you like what you see. And we'll talk to you next week. Wait. When are you coming to San Francisco?
I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm supposed to be home in Atlanta right now, and I'm not. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know where I'm going to be. I'll be somewhere next week. I don't know. To answer your question, I have no idea.
Okay.
Sorry,
well,
but I will let you know when I know.
We're going to try to manifest it. Remember, I'm going to be in D.C. in a couple weeks.
That's right. Do you fly Wild Airlines? No.
Oh, no.
I do like purple, but it's my favorite color, but I have never been on those planes. And apparently I never will now they've gone out of business.
I know.
All right, Kevin. And Amber, I want to hear all about your trip to Ghana, so send me a message, please.
That's so awesome. Thanks, guys, for chiming in. Thank you, Kevin, for producing us, keeping us on time. Thanks, Lonnell. See you later.
All right, see you guys later.
All right.
Bye.